Hello and welcome everybody to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. During the visit of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Mexico, the President of Mexico, Enrique Peña Nieto, announced the start of new business relationships in unexplored sectors between the two countries. In a message issued by the Presidency of Mexico, it was announced that the two countries plan to cooperate in sectors such as aerospace, scientific, renewable and solar energy, as well as in agriculture, technology and waste management. Peña Nieto and Modi highlighted the friendship and respect between them and their nations, and they agreed to collaborate in promoting mutual investment and expand existing bilateral investment in sectors such as steel industry, pharmaceutical, food and auto parts. Bilateral trade between India and Mexico currently stands at around $6 billion. According to India's ambassador to Mexico, Muktesh Pareshi, there are 50 Indian companies in Mexico which have created around 10,000 jobs. With the energy reform that Mexico has materialized, Indian companies may invest in renewable energy. And during his visit, the Prime Minister stressed that his country is a major buyer of Mexican oil. Enrique Peña Nieto also mentioned in his speech that Mexico recognizes the transformative momentum that the Indian government has promoted, which coincides with what in Mexico has been done to achieve the development and growth of the country. In other headlines, Mexico and Cuba made agreements that reached approximately $100 million as touristic authorities, and sector business representatives met in the first forum of tourist business Mexico-Cuba in Mérida, Yucatan. Enrique de la Madrid, head of the Ministry of Tourism, was present and said that good political relationships with the island had to land on concrete business to help both countries. During the forum, more than 200 business meetings between a delegation of more than 20 businessmen representing 90% of tourism in Cuba and investors from Mexico to create joint investments were made, as well as meetings between importers of Cuba and exporters of Mexico. Of particular interest sector to the Cuban delegation was the food and beverage industry, where companies such as Sigma Alimentos, American Beef, Pork Mexican Group and Jose Cuervo Tequila, among others, participated. The forum was also attended by various hotel companies and the airlines Aeromexico and Interjet, which seek to strengthen the connectivity to the island, as well as create and promote packages with destinations in both countries. Moving on. Since its arrival in Mexico, Uber has been widely accepted by users and gradually has been implementing its various services such as Uber Pool. Now featuring in some cities, the company has modified its application to allow users to add a new option that allows multiple people to use the same method of payment. In addition to normal and business account, now Uber lets you create a family profile in which the user can add up to 10 members to the same account for an easier method of payment. According to the company, anyone can create a family profile. However, to add a person, it's necessary to send an email invitation that's associated to the profile. And after receiving it, they must select as payment method the family profile. So the cost of the trip you make is automatically charged to the person who sent the invitation. The application will notify each time a family member starts a trip and will enable you to follow their route on the map from your smartphone. It's also important to highlight that although the name of this new profile is family, it also is available for friends or colleagues. For the 6th consecutive year, Angela Merkel, the German Chancellor, is yet again world's most powerful woman, according to Forbes. In second place is Hillary Clinton, who will possibly go up a position next year. While Merkel, 60 years of age, claims the top slot for the 5th year in succession and has made the list 10 times over the past 12 years, 9 of them as number 1. She faces a stiff challenge in the future, said Forbes. If Clinton wins the presidency elections in the United States, she could easily take Merkel's place on the list and become the most powerful woman in the world. The Democrat candidate for president could well win the November elections, and according to the magazine, she's everything in her favor to become number 1 out of the 200 spots. After headlining the list for 6 years, Merkel announced to Forbes she's decided to open Germany's borders to over 1 million refugees from Syria and other countries. Her geopolitical strategy is viewed by many as a very brave one by adopting absolute humanism. This year, Forbes' list includes 20 new women which were chosen under the new rethinking of what it means to be powerful, due to the difference there is between being in control and being influential. In Mexico, out of the 100 women on the Forbes list, we can mention a few women who are breaking stereotypes in their own fields, like teenager Olga Medrano Martin del Campo, winner of the gold medal in the European Women's Mathematics Olympics in Romania, Amparo Espinosa Rugarcia, a philanthropist, writer, psychoanalyst, administrator. Eufrosina Cruz Mendoza, an indigenous woman from Oaxaca, recognized by the UN as one of the 100 leaders that has moved the world and is now aspiring to be governor of her state. And Melanie Devlin, president of the board at Devlin Optical Store. And lastly, in economics, the Mexican peso increased 0.15% to 18.93 from 18.90 in the previous trading session. The peso gained 22.71% during the last 12 months from 15.43 in June of 2015. Mexico IPC index increased 0.99% to 45,012 from 44,571 in the previous trading session. Mexico IPC index gained 0.49% during the last 12 months from 44,792.04 points in June of 2015. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman, and remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.